since I was 16 years old. I loved catechism. It was just something that I loved when I was a young girl, even as young as first grade. I remember another encounter that I had with Christ. Now I know what it was at the time, but at the time I just thought it was joy to talk about God. And at the end of our day in Mexico, where I grew up, we were told, when you come home from school, you do your homework, you do your chores, you clean, blah, 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 and you can't go outside till everything is done. After the inspection, you may go outside. Well, it was so much to do that sometimes we got to go outside as late as 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. But, it was okay because, we're in Mexico. We take the siesta. Anyway, in doing that, I realized that the children would come, and these are unruly children. We're just the first graders. We're running and sweating, and they would come and they would say, please tell us a story. Please tell us a story. And they would sit and bang on my the gate that went into our house, which is really a super small house. It just had 2 bedrooms for 5 children, mom and dad, a little living room and a small kitchen. But to us, it was a great house. We thought it was so big. But at the end of the night, they would come and they would say, please tell us a story. And now looking back, I realize how I had a desire to teach. I had a desire to show to others that we could be good for God. Even though I didn't say that, I would say things like, if you go home tonight and your parents ask you to do something, you need to do it with joy. And also, because a lot of us, we're poor. We don't have a lot of nicely dressed things, but we always have soap. And I would tell them, be virtuous. I didn't use those words, but I would say, go home and wash your face. Go home and pray with your mom and dad. Go home and be honest. Don't copy. Go to school early. Don't go late. And so I realize now there was the Holy Spirit speaking through me. And yet I would go home and I was just like, oh, I'm scared of everything. But yet when I was asked to do something, if I knew it was for someone other than myself, then the Holy Spirit, I recognize now, took over. And in sharing stories, it was stories about the little dog, the little bird, nature. And then I would always come in with a little virtue nugget or a little, let's grow in virtue, let's grow in holiness. I didn't call it that. It was just being a child, but being a child of God in doing things that were normal to our age, but doing it with joy, quietly, without calling attention to ourselves. And I look back and I see that was an encounter with the Holy Spirit.